Hey there, and welcome to TonalTrends.com Spotter Syncs. Today we're doing Imagine by John Lennon. He wrote the song, and so did Yoko. I guess she got a little credit because he got the idea for the song from one of her art pieces. So that's cool. Released in October of 1971. It's been 15 weeks at #1. And there's an asterisk there because we're going to talk about its chart history. It's got kind of a storied chart history that's worth mentioning. It was written in C major and kind of piano friendly. And 76 BPMs was the speed. 4/4 time, it's common time. And it was a pop friendly, singles friendly, 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Alright, Rolling Stone described Imagine as Lennon's greatest musical gift to the world, praising the serene melody, the pillowy chord progression, and that beckoning 4-note piano figure. And one thing I want to talk about a little bit when we're talking about this pillowy, serene, beckoning music is one of the reasons for that is I think it's because there's no lead instrument in the song's arrangement. No lead guitar or nothing. So the only instrumental hooks we can have, or we can argue that we have, are just ghosting about, in the top of the piano part and in the vocal itself. So, yeah, let's talk about some of these. So, first I want to talk about this kind of major 7th interval happening in the verse. And also in the chorus that happens here too. But let's tackle this one first. So you've got this kind of, imagine this, no head. It shows up in the chorus though too, in the hook right here. It shows up here too, but it's kind of in passing there. So here it's a little bit more prominent as it starts it, So there's that. Another sound you get is this add 9, which is really slick, because if you look here, bum, 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 it's kind of counterintuitive, If you know your numbers, usually it goes 6, 7, 8. But instead it goes, it skips 8. Here's how it would sound if it did 8. Kind of more conventional that way, but John Lennon, knows how to just slightly break conventions just to give your ear a little bit of that. Oh, look at that. Okay, the sharp 4 I'm talking about now, I got a question mark there too, because you can kind of argue it's there, you can kind of argue it's not there. It sounds like it lingers to me, when we're going the same 7 right here. If it lingers in that F chord, which I think it does because of the reverb of the room even, you could argue, you've got this chord. And a Lydian 4, now that is one of the most serene, pillowy, ethereal, up in the clouds chords that you're ever going to get, in my opinion. In that, world in between consonants and dissonance, where like dreams are made of or whatever. Alright, I'm going to talk about the slashes, the inversions. So they happen mostly in the pre-chorus right here. So you got, F, E, D, C. If you know your backwards alphabet, you can kind of get the logic of that. The chords don't do F, E, D, C, because that, it just sounds kind of like not as slick as just having the left hand do it, but having different chords here. But when that happens, you have to have inversions, don't you? So I got an inversion here, what they call second inversion, when the 5 of the triad of A minor is represented. Regular D chord, but then a D chord with a C in the bass is a little bit more interesting because that C isn't in the triads. What you get is a D minor 7 chord, 7 being flat when it's minor. So that's pretty cool. You can also argue though that there's another inversion right here. Let me show you what I mean. When he's playing the piano part, it's like this. F, there's an inversion. So, F inversion. So, I didn't put that right there because, if we're going to be true to the entire soundscape, I think the it's there in the bass. The bass is playing the root. I think the left hand of the piano is also playing it, so, it's not an inversion in the overall, just in the right hand of the piano it's an inversion. So there's that. All right. Oh yeah, dominance. All right, you got this G7 right there, obviously. That's nothing too surprising because that's what a dominant chord is in the key of C. But here, this is not in the key E. That is the only non-diatonic thing happening in the song, except for this guy, but that's just a note, passive note. This is an actual chord that's like not supposed to be there by tonality standards, but he puts it in anyway because you can't have standards all the time. All right. Hear that? There's the alien right here. Not a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So, yeah, it's the last chord to come in right there. That's just something cool to spot. So listen for that when we go on sync. I'll point it out. All right. Oh, yeah. Chorus at 1:30. So that's like halfway through the song already. So it's kind of going against this whole don't bore us, get to the chorus mentality the singles sometimes have. So that's cool. I think that was probably a conscious choice. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just something that worked out that way. But it still leaves us with only 2 choruses. When it's such an iconic chorus as this one is, just think about that. There's only 2. Not only are there only 2 in the song, but they're a little different each time. The first one, in the lyrics, he says, the world will be as one. This one is will live as one. So I'm not going to talk about what that means because I don't know. That's just something I noticed. I don't think it really means too much of anything, unless you want to think about it too much. What you're allowed to do with John Lennon? Oh yeah, and then musically, this chorus has a little 5-chord riff that gets us into this next verse right here. And then this one doesn't have it because there's nothing else to go to because it's the end of the song. So that's why he doesn't have it there. That riff is just like, sounds like this, just like something your kindergarten teacher would play. Real genuine riff. Love it. Oh yeah, let's talk about the charts a little bit. So it got to number 1 on the UK charts when it came out, but not in America. It was only number 3 in America, partly due to a little teeny bit of censorship because a lot of Americans didn't like that line, imagine no religion. A lot of radio stations wouldn't play that because they don't want to offend anybody. I don't think Lennon was necessarily, I don't think they really understood what he's talking about. I don't know. Google that. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the tonal trends. But the Canadians didn't seem to mind that because it got to number 1 on their charts. And let's talk about, how it kept creeping back up into the charts, though, after that point. First time was in 1975, came in at number 6 because it was re-released as a single on the album Shaved Fish, which was kind of a John Lennon greatest hits that they released. And then tragically, after he died, or it was after his tragic death, it wasn't tragic that it shot to number 1 again. That was actually a good thing. Probably one of the only good things about his death was that his music got, lifted up at that time. And then randomly in 1988 got to 45. Not sure why that happens. I didn't read anything about it. And then number 3 in 1999. So that's pretty cool. Maybe it has something to do with the millennium. I don't know. And then it charted at number 33 in 2003 as a B-side to a re-release of Happy Christmas, War is Over. So let's sync this up. Talk about these things as they're going on. All right, you ready? I'm going to give you 3. On 0. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's play. Here we go. Ba-do-da-do-da-do-da-do. All right. Do-do-do-do, 7, 9. Oh, and then listen right here. There's going to add an extra mic in the piano right there, in the left channel. Do you hear that? It's pretty cool, huh? Do-do-do-da. It's the same. Do-do-do-do. Here comes that sound. Na-na. Boo-do-do-do. Here comes the drums. F, E, D, that's the bass line, C, 5 chord. And you got your 7 right there. And, oh, not the chorus, not the verse. And just take me with this Lydian sound, if you will. Ah, you know, if it lingers, you got that Lydian noise, don't you? What I for? And he drops out before the 4, but if it lingers in your mind and in the room, it's Lydian. Back into the pre-chorus. F, A minor slash E, D minor slash C, G, bum, bum, add a 7 to it. Now we get the chorus. Oh, and then this is in parentheses because it doesn't always play it. Like right here, just 7. So that one ain't always there. E, secondary dominant noise. Cool. Here's that riff. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Get another verse right here. I want to talk about this 76 beat per minute though too a little bit, because it's like, you know, you can't really dance to this. There's like, you know, you can just kind of walk to it. I just wouldn't call it dancing. You know, there's a kind of a forced pause thing to 76 beats per minute. And the forced pause is kind of, I think, what we're talking about. We're talking about like message songs, philosophical songs. So there's that. F, G, C. Just enjoy it for a little bit. Oh, yeah, he was missing there. And a slight ritardando here. And the strings. I forgot to mention the strings. Aren't they nice? So anyways, yeah. Imagine by John Lennon. Thanks for watching this Spot of Sync. And stick around and watch another if you got the time. Otherwise, have a nice day. Thanks very much.